live chat. Did I do live chat? You son of a gun. Okay, cool. So I hope, as I trip and fall across my own kitchen, that would be hell of a live stream. Well, I hope everyone's doing well. This is kind of a ad hoc live stream because my schedule is now officially garbage. It's just trash. God, I've clearly made an error. By the way, I'm using a Bahama Buck spoon for my coffee. Hey, Johnny, what's going on? I clearly have overestimated my ability to type reports. So, in my brilliance, I may have mentioned to some of y'all, hey, Nostra, what's going on? I was hoping to start my graduate program, right? It's a certificate that I can continue on to a second master's if I want. But I'm doing that at the same time that we're negotiating all the contracts. I didn't plan that out very well. And then I'm getting sent to the corporate class. So basically, I just knocked out an entire paper in 5 hours. And this semester just started last night. And I'm looking at the schedule, so I should have paid more attention. So normally fall semester, hey Jim, fall semester traditionally is like September to just before Christmas, right? Like kids go to school in September and the fall semester ends like after Thanksgiving sometime, like first, second week of December. Now apparently they've taken that whole damn semester and squished it into 8 weeks. So I'm gonna be doing like an entire semester's worth of work in between like today and October 24th. And clearly I looked at the schedule and I'm like, I need to do like the next 3 weeks of work this week and then just sit on it and submit it. Otherwise, I'm gonna absolutely be screwed if I wait till the last minute. And I don't think all of my fellow students are gonna do too well, right? There were some that we were emailing each other on the mail group before class started. And one of them was like, hey, I didn't see the books listed. And someone else replies, no, this professor gives us articles and we build our business case off of that, right? And everyone's collaborating. And then some meathead replies, unsubscribe to the graduate class email. He's trying to unsubscribe to the email of the college course he paid for. And so I replied to this, hey Pilgrim, I replied to this guy and I'm like, this is the mailing list for the graduate school class, dude. Like you can go into the, log into the college thing and turn off the email notifications, but then if the prof sends us anything, you're not gonna see it. Like really, you're gonna unsubscribe to what you just paid money for? It's like, what? Does that sound, is it me or did that sound really goofy? Like, what was he thinking? Hey, Winning Streak, what's going on? And Jim, and, oh wait, I missed somebody in there. I don't have my glasses, so everything looks really blurry today. It's funny, I have like, hey Moonsprout, I have like 5 different sets of glasses in different places. But I'm thinking to myself, buddy, you signed up for this class. This is the class you wanted to go to, and now you don't want to see the emails and you replied unsubscribe to me. Like, I'm not the server. And I showed that to my wife and she goes, well, that guy's gonna fail. Like, he doesn't understand how the mail list works. He's screwed. We'll be locked down next week by the looks, anyway, judging from news articles on the net. Oh, so I saw an interesting article, I lost my seat. Interesting article on the Post today, New York Post. They're saying that the majority of the COVID deaths that they're seeing more recently, actually, this chair is all wonky, I'm gonna bust my ass. Again, it would be a fun live stream if I fell down. Most of the deaths that have happened because of Rona were not because specifically of Rona. Like Rona was involved, like when they did the test, they're like, well, the guy has Rona or has the presence of Rona, but it was like he clearly had a heart attack, and the guy was not symptomatic. Like he wasn't like couldn't breathe or anything, and that caused a heart attack. And I'm like, that's what they should have been reporting all along. Like, oh, this guy died in a car wreck. Oh, but by the way, he had the Rona. But the Rona didn't cause the car wreck. He was drunk and caused a car wreck. And I think it was just the hospitals where like the more Rona cases they reported, they got more funding, right? I'm not saying all the hospitals did this, but I just think it's funny. Hey, Joe. Hey, Creative. What's going on? So, yeah, the Post actually came out and said the quiet part out loud. They're like, screw it, why not? Oh, you saw that article? So, yeah, it's not the fall that kills you, it's what stops the fall. This is true, Winning Street. My Rona, yeah. So, yeah, I like I said, I've clearly overestimated the amount of things I can do in a 24-hour period. The good thing is, other than the dogs, I don't have kids at home. So, like, pretty much if I have to stay up till 2 in the morning and I want to, because my schedule floats, as long as I make my meetings, you know, if I have a 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock lunch and I'm up late with school and projects for work, and I get up late, nobody really cares because like my shit got done, which to me is awesome, right? Because I don't have to like be in a physical place just so my boss can see me. Hey, RK Vision, what's going on? No kids. Party. Yeah, well, Winning Street, that's part of the problem is sometimes we'll go out randomly and we'll meet up with friends, and then it's like 2 in the morning and we're like, wow, we're way too old to be up this late and drink this much. This was just a bad idea. But it's fun. You got to do that every now and then. But yeah, folks, so I read an interesting article. Let me see if I can find it, because this one was, Ghetto, what's going on, man? I was just talking about someone who signed up for a college class. I'm not sure what they think. Now the good thing is all the engineers on my team who do the business side of it, we're scattered throughout the U.S., Canada, and they're all smartasses, every single one. So you ask a question to the group, and all you get is smartass comments back, which is fun because it keeps everyone on their toe. I was evil that night. Oh, great. Joe was evil. Joe Morganism. So in any case, yeah, so we started the semester. I didn't realize the 4 months are actually compressed into 1.5. So it's an 8-week semester. And I have other students who don't understand the professor's mailing list and are trying to email unsubscribe to the rest of us. So I suspect that person may not do well. Goes too damn fast. Hey, Food Forest, what's going on? Now, I had a really neat article. So here's a good one for all of you. So you know how everyone's saying BRICS, right? You know, Brazil, Russia, India, China. I forgot who the hell the S was. Not Spain, was it? Shit, it may be Spain. I don't remember. Anyway, India, one of their members of parliament, looked at the new map after all that. Oh, South Africa, thank you. Not Spain. Spain's economy's in the toilet. Thank you, Nostra. I just blanked out. I'm like, I don't know who the hell S is. Right after this big BRICS meeting, and everyone's like being nice to each other, China put out a new map. And the new map shows that part of India is in China. And they've been fighting over that border a lot lately. And so one of the members of parliament of India actually said that they should use a surgical strike and remove the Chinese from that province, and pissed off the Chinese. And I'm thinking to myself, you guys are going to create a new currency while you're clearly threatening to fire cannons at each other over the mountains. It's like, come on, guys, you guys got to get with the program. You can't be doing this to each other. But the problem is we all, oh, those killbots on Tibet border to show up elsewhere. Yeah, no kidding. Well, folks, it's one of those cases where, we all worry about the elites, right? Like these really rich people who are affecting, everything in the world by throwing money at it. Hey, Northern Girl Hobbies, what's up? It's the homie Peter. That sounds funny and awful at the same time. I was gonna not, but she ambushed me. Awesome. Yeah, Joe's been having adventures over there. So, did you guys know that Heathrow Airport in England actually went offline? Their air traffic control system got hosed, and so the air traffic controllers had to put the flight plans in manually. What does that lead? Both China and India should blame the old Raj Boffins. Oh, there you go, roaming Peter. That's terrible. Uh, that's so bad. And there went my PG rating, women. No, so so then the French media hit by ban, internet down, in disputed election. In Reporters Without Borders denounced the fact that its foreign media was being restricted. So in the last 24 hours, so the media got chased out of Maui, out of Lahaina. They're actually putting up a wall around the freaking facility, or around the area, not just around the burnt, it's expanding. One reporter noted that there were troops who did not look right. Like there was National Guard, there were cops, which made sense, and then what he referred to as a special police force. But he said they didn't look like feds, so he didn't know who the hell they were. But they ran them off. Heathrow Airport in the UK, their air traffic control system went down the toilet. Non-dispute, I'm on 35, I've never seen one. No, they always dispute the election. Hell, Al Gore was upset over Florida being lost in, 2000? And then all he did, 2008. No, that was when Obama took office. And all he did was piss Florida off, and Florida's been red ever since. It's like, I don't know what China's thinking, because Taiwan warns of sharp increase in tensions as Chinese planes cross the median line. This is on Reuters. So they're poking everyone around them. But I'm honestly waiting for Russia and China to get into it for some reason. Hanging chads, I remember that. And wasn't that fool in How I Met Your Mother? He used to dress as a hanging chad for Halloween, one of the characters, for those of you who've seen that show. And North Korea just keeps saying the U.S., they're going to bomb the U.S., which they've been saying for 20 years, so I don't know what this means. Yeah, it's been weird how the media is getting shut down overseas. They're getting shut down in Maui. Independent reporters, regular reporters, they're just getting locked out. The president actually walked away from questions the other day. So you haven't called me in a while. That's good. Guess you're still alive and behaving. No, he's just quietly misbehaving, Chinese police. Food Forest, I wondered about that. Because the person said they were driving Nissans. Now, granted, I've driven Nissan, so that doesn't mean I'm a foreign agent. But they said that it just didn't look right. And North Korea have been trying for years. They just keep crashing. Johnny, he's hitting the LOL. It's just, hey, Devil Dog, what's going on? The Bush going on says it was epic dumb. Yeah, no, definitely, it sure was. So, all the countries, it's like they're looking for something to do, but at the same time, the media is getting chased down. And I think the media is just now realizing that they're getting used, some of them anyway, which may be why Tucker left Fox. I don't know. There were a lot of reasons why Tucker left Fox, but this one independent journalist, he said that he came out outside of the perimeter, he had rented an SUV, he stood on the SUV and was trying to film over the black barrier that had been erected around Lahaina, and he got run off. Like, they came out of the barrier area and ran him off. So you can barely hear me. Let me see if my headset will work. Hang on just a second. All right, so let me see. Hey, Daryl, what's going on? Woke up. Let's see if I can get my audio going. Bear with me just a second here, peeps. Okay, can you guys hear me a little better now? Sound good here? Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure why. But yeah, it's been interesting seeing these countries just have fights with each other. And what are they fighting over? I mean, that's a mountainous area with very few, if any, resources, but they want to fight over it. And was it 2 years ago? They got in this epic brawl that probably killed about 20 people, but they're not allowed to bring guns into that disputed area. So they basically had a brawl with sticks, stones, and fists. Like it was some medieval warfare shit between the Chinese and the Indians. So they do not like each other. So the fact that they're trying to create an alternative currency with Russia, I don't know how long that's gonna sustain. But remember, at the end of the day, everyone wants to be king. So all these countries, all these powerful people, I'm pretty sure Bill Gates doesn't really want to listen to Schwab, right? Schwab doesn't want to listen to what Elon Musk says, right? They all think they know better. And that's probably one of the few saving graces for the rest of us is that their arrogance of these elite rich folks, they're all going to want to be in charge. Now there are some who get along, they get together for a common goal, but at the end of the day, yeah, stick stones and large cliffs. That's exactly what happened. And then get you and I to fight for them. Food forest, absolutely. Well, what was the song? Civil War, the rock song Civil War. I don't need your Civil War. That's basically a test to it. Or Fortunate Son, if you guys like Credence, right? I'm not a senator's son. I'm not the millionaire's son. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not so sold if these people who are trying to plan the world and tell us how we should or shouldn't do things uh, really know what the fuck they're doing, other than they're arrogant and they have money, which gives them a level of power. Uh, my own take is people got their hands in the cookie jars, but now they can't hide it as well because all of us go on social media, regardless if it's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Rumble, and we start, yeah, absolutely, Northern Girl, and we start making a shit ton of noise and we attract attention. Remember, at the end of the day, roaches don't like light. You open a closet and there's bugs in there, and you put a flashlight on them. They don't like it. They take off because they know it's dangerous to them. And a lot of these people are the same way. Criminals and other people who do bad shit. They don't like the light, and that's the truth. So yeah, we just keep making noise till they kick us all off the internet. Um, guess who? No time. Yeah. Hey, Irishman. Old enough to remember them. Yep. Spiked up that was playing on vinyl. Mm. You had to wash the Black Rifle mug. It was getting kind of raunchy. I know the Navy guys like to season their mugs, but you over season your mug on land and you get bugs, and nobody likes that shit. I don't need to. I don't need to drink the bonus protein and the. We already got these people trying to make us eat like roach burgers and shit. So I'm not going to add some to my own diet. We don't need that. But folks, yeah. So honestly, I'm hearing a lot in the energy sector as far as the financial stuff. They're expecting demand supply to go up, but the demand is going to flatten if China can't get their economy in order. So the energy prices may actually level out, which would be nice. At least it won't go too far up to where we're going to hurt. I could be wrong. That was the take of one analyst today. Some other guy was forecasting, 120 barrel oil, and that would be expensive as shit because the last time we did that, gasoline was $3, $4, $5 a gallon in the States, and it was something crazy up in Canada because you guys sell by the liter. So thank you, Northern Girl. So cricket spam, yo. Only smoke roaches, not the cucaracha roaches, the other roaches. You don't smoke those damn bugs because that's awful. Uh, but yeah, folks, clearly, like I put in the title of this video, I've overestimated my ability to type reports in a very quick manner. So I got some work set out for me for the next few weeks, which is fine. It give me something to, Jason will rejoice. $6.30 a gallon. That's Canadian, or is that Canada? So that would be, no, that's about right. Yeah, 225 a liter. Oof. Joyce went turn and Tater out of the office. Oh Lord. Um, yeah, we need to change some leadership in the Western Hemisphere. I think the only president we have that's actually doing what he said he was supposed to do is the president in Mexico. When Mexico now has an immigrant crisis because all the people trying to come here are going through Mexico, and they were fist fighting the Mexican federales a few weeks ago. I don't know if you guys saw that. And the federales just beat the shit out of a bunch of people. So apparently people are used to law enforcement in America. It's like, oh, you have rights. Yeah, they didn't have rights. They just were whacking them with sticks and punching each other. Uh, $15 for 1 3/4 liters. Oh, yeah, it's Joe fuel. Danny for 20,000 Colin Hill 335 for 551 Canucks against the commies in 4 days. We're all gonna do it again. So funny food forest. My dad was a BAR gunner, and he was with the 271st, but the 65th from Puerto Rico wound up stuck in the mountains opposite the Canadians, and they got cut off. And it's a bunch of boys from a tropical island are in the damn winter tundra of Korea. And yeah, the stories those old men, my dad's friends, would tell me, it was they would just swarm the battlefield with bodies. The whole goal was to basically overrun you in mass. They just didn't. Sparkle Socks. Sparkle Socks is a pendejo. That guy, he should go to Venezuela and live there. Socialist jackass. So funny story. Northern Girl, creative. A lot of a lot of my friends here in Texas are engineers from Canada, and every single one of them is trying to get their green card. Actually, several of them have already gotten their green card. One said, "I may not go back." He said, "I love Canada. It's beautiful." They're from Western Canada. He said the people are great, which I agree. I've never met a Western Canadian I didn't get along with, but they said the politics is garbage. Motor pool sergeant in Korea, dude. Those guys who served in Korea and Vietnam, that was a special breed of sense of humor those guys got. Hey Teresa, what's going on? So yeah, folks, it's one of those weeks. I'm listening to the news and I'm just thinking to myself, do any of the leaders really know what they're doing? Because I don't think they do. Um, and I'm sure you guys all agree with me. Where was this other article I wanted to share with you guys? Oh, so a Russian colonel, the Ukrainians went after a Russian colonel. Let me see if I can pull this article up. And it may not want to come up. Newsweek. Let me see if you guys can see that. Russian colonel killed in drone strike while mowing the lawn in his dacha. Tell me you have a fifth column in Russia without telling me you have a fifth column in Russia. How the hell did they target this dude mowing a lawn? He was like behind the lines, and they sent a drone after him and dropped a grenade on this guy, or one of those small IEDs, and killed his ass and probably destroyed his damn lawnmower and killed the dog. And I'm just thinking to myself, somebody knew something. Like, you don't just drones are coming to. So Northern Girl, Elon Musk said something the other day, and I know not everyone's a fan, but he's a smart guy. Tequila means waking up married for a third time. Stripper named Barbie. Bambi. Oof. Homing suppository. Yes, exactly what it is. You know, to Northern Girl's point, Elon Musk said he's worried about AI and the drones. And hush, girl. Hey. So, by the way, if you're wondering why there's no barking, it's because Jackson barked at a delivery truck. Bentley didn't like that Jackson woke him up, so he went and fought with Jackson, and now both of them are in dog jail because they were kicking each other's ass, and then the females got in between them and beat both their asses. And I just said, they were like, all right, y'all run off. But that was a fun morning. I'm glad I'm not doing 23. Don't get the pugs going. Oh God. Then Jen will have all these on her side. But Elon pointed out, he said, the face recognition they have on Facebook and on our phones, right, where it puts a little square around your face. He said, you take that technology, which is basically commercially available, you could put it into the software of a drone, or even attach the phone to the drone and have the drone go out and scan faces in a crowd until it finds a face that's a match for that person. And then that drone just goes to that person and explodes. And he said, you don't even need a big explosion, a shotgun shell. And, you just run into the person. Even if you don't kill him, you'll take him out of commission. And I'm thinking to myself, my God, you just like gave a horrid idea to a bunch of people, but he's not wrong. It's very easy to conjure this kind of tech if you have the money and the skill to do it. So I found it, I don't trust him an inch. I'm assuming you mean Elon is kind of a tool. Yeah, he's weird, but at the same time, he's a rough morning. That's awesome. Um, but you think about it, he did make a good point. Hey, Red, what's going on? Back to the harvest. Peace. Thank you, Food Forest. Thank you for joining me. Can someone put Food Forest? You have an active channel. Someone, I don't know if how many of my mods are in here. If you guys, one of you can really Pepper. You notice how she does not listen. Pepper, hey, come here. Why are you barking? Why do you look so upset? She's wagging her nub because she's got that little butt. No, don't worry about it, Northern Girl. If it'll mess up your computer, that's cool. But it's just weird times. All I can say to everyone, all these countries are all fighting. We keep hearing BRICS, and yet China, one of India's members of parliament basically said they should artillery China, which pissed everyone off again. I don't think all these threats are as aligned as we think. What concerns me is you have all these a-holes with money or power. Thank you, Northern Girl. Pulling levers and influencing shit, trying to get whatever it is they think should be done. And somebody's going to screw up. Someone's going to break the internet. They're going to crash a country, blow something up. The world lost its manners. I'm to a point I don't want to participate. And that's honestly, I saw one of the preppers on Instagram this morning. He just put a post, or she, sorry, and basically said, I'm not trying to warn the general public anymore because it seems like most of them don't want to hear what I have to say. So I'm collaborating now with the other people who actually do want to have this conversation and try to make them as prepared as possible, because we can't cure the stupid and we can't cure the sheep. And I think that person was spot on, honestly. And to the title, I clearly have made an error. I was hoping we could reach hey Hutch, what's going on, man? We could reach a lot of folks out there, and we have. A lot of us have reached a lot of people, but a lot of folks just don't want to hear it, and we just can't. I got off Insta. Can't cure the sheep, correct? We're doing shit locally here. Yeah, that's all you can do. Is it's its own reward, and it's not a good reward for the stupid person. Unfortunately, the stupid people sometimes screw up so badly that they hurt everyone else. But at this point, I would encourage folks, find those people who do want to hear, who do want to have those conversations, and work with each other to make yourself as well prepared as you can for whatever the hell is coming down the pipeline. Um, there are already several states that are threatening to sue the feds if they try to lock us down without the consent of the states. So that's going to be interesting. Nobody enforced shit out in West Texas. People, they said we closed the bars. So what people were doing was driving into the fields with kegs and drinking there. And technically speaking, that's private property, and unless they have a warrant. And honestly, the cops didn't care. The cops were probably off duty drinking with the other people. So, hey, Dan H., what's going on? And Independent, welcome. Ark, hello, hello. I missed a few of you guys here. But yeah, folks, look, you just collaborate with who wants to learn. And if they want to learn, be open-minded and be gracious, right? If they're asking fair questions like, what do you prepare for? Like, how do you prep? How do you prevent it from becoming hoarding? Have those conversations with them. There are ways to present the whole concept of preparedness to people that isn't going to give them a heart attack or make them think that you're a crazy person. But they're going to be no matter what you tell them, no matter how you have those conversations, they just don't want to hear it. It stresses me out. I don't have the time. Nothing's going to happen. I love that one. That one just blows my mind. Nothing's happening. What are you preparing for? Nothing ever happened. No, nothing happened. But I bet you got your 55 boosters and your masks and whatnot. And a lot of people were worried about elderly or someone in the family that was sick, that was high risk, and they said, "Well, we'll get this pinch. I got to be careful what I say. We'll get this pinch to protect that person, right?" But now here we are, 2-3 years later, and all good intentions aside, we're like, it didn't really do what was supposed to. And but here's an article, a headline I read yesterday night that's going to crack you all up. Dr. Ouchie, that one, actually admitted in an interview, and I don't remember if it was on ABC or CBS, it wasn't Fox and it wasn't CNN, that at this point he encourages an annual booster, but he said, honestly, 96% of America has probably got some level of immunity. Unless you are high risk, i.e. diabetic, stroke, obesity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, we're not sure how much it's going to move the needle for certain people. And I'm like, you could have said that in the front end and said, hey, look, if you're high risk, take this. It's experimental, but it's the best we have. Here's some of the side effects. You make the call instead of doing what they did. But hindsight's 2020, right? Wait, Johnny Preps, what did you say? I carry a roll. There you go, a roll of aluminum foil. So do you make the hats with the one horn like they did in the movie Signs, or do you do the Viking horns, like that? Because I'd be impressed if somebody could do Viking horns and not collapse the hat with aluminum foil. That would be something I'd like to see. Pepper, where'd you go? She lost interest. The potato is unconscious. So actually, I think the corgis are more like yams because pugs are more like russet potatoes. They're a little more small and squishy. Corgis are long, So I guess that would be a sweet potato. Best foil hat vid. Hutch had the best foil. Oh, really? Okay, I'm gonna have to go find it. Been almost a week now. I'm ahead of schedule. Sit porkers. So, and you have to watch, if you haven't watched Northern Girl's channel, when she gets free time to post, I get a kick because the pugs are in everything. I thought my corgis were bad. Y'all's pugs just like jump up on stuff. And that little weasel found have words one day. Yeah. And I find it interesting, though, that he is married to someone in another agency who is best friends with someone who got hired at certain corporations that have benefited from decisions. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. I got to be careful how I say it because that very same subject got me got my video taken down on the tube recently. So I got to be cautious. But you know, be smart, make the decision that's best for you. But I'd like more transparency in the people who are compelling these choices. And at the same time, I'd like more transparency in what the hell happened in the island of Hawaii. It is a very incestuous relationship. Why reporters are getting arrested in France, they're getting arrested. The ones that are actually trying to do their job and not just repeating and parroting the lines that the masters tell them, and they're getting shut down, they're getting thrown in jail, they're getting their phones taken away. Um, hey, Trish, what's going on? In high school, and my fight record in the parking lot. Flashcards for hot words. I should. Johnny, that would be an awesome idea. That would be a funny video. The flashcards for things and just kind of hold them up. And then they'll ding me for putting some fake news or malpractice or whatever the hell title they give me. The fact checkers. We all need to start using those cards. All right, that got me thinking. My daughter is an amazing sketch artist. Like really good. She sells her paintings. I need to hit her up. The Apocalypse card set. That would be freaking hilarious. Right? And then on the other side you have an actual deck of playing cards. So cards will be white paper. I should make a sign with a rooster and a, oh God, Joe. That is funny actually. Yeah, we can come up with our own symbols. And that would be more than sufficient, I'm sure. But look, folks, um, right now the market's kind of flat. Some people are predicting we're going to get higher energy prices. That's going to escalate some of the inflation, but we're not sure because if China starts not doing well while the rest of the world is doing okay, everything might even out. It might actually be like a net zero, so to say, where China's not ramping up production, so the demand on oil and gas isn't so high, and other energy. So even if we produce less, the demand isn't there anyway. So Joe Biden can be a potato. He's already a potato. Channel Hawaii real estate. Channel. No, I haven't. But there's been a lot of people trying to take videos. They had drones confiscated out in the islands because someone tried to fly a drone because they said you can't go past the barrier. So he ran away and popped up a drone and tried to get it over. And they found the drone operator and told him to recall his drone, and they ran him off. So it's just weird that we're seeing so many things just being hidden in plain sight. Like a city was obliterated in under 3 hours. And I understand that they want to secure the area so you don't have looting. What are you going to loot? The place was literally vaporized. Um, Maybe steal a blue umbrella. I don't know. He investigates all the cars that are in. And you know what's funny? They're trying to rub our noses in it. Yeah, basically pineapples. I will do that. I will check it out. Have you looked at Hawaii real estate? I'll go look at. But Hunter's not a. He's a baked potato. He is a baked potato. God, I think that guy has crystals in his blood. Report the guy saying he dove into a stream to avoid bursting into flames. There were people who were saying that they were running down the main street to the ocean, and people who were behind them that weren't fast enough were literally getting caught on fire as they were running. I can't even envision the level of temperature that has to exist for your clothing to catch fire when the flame is not physically touching you. Like, how insanely hot is that? So that's kind of frightening when you think about it. That's one of those cases you may have no choice but to bug out. So, well, Northern Girl, they hit the alert for the missile attack 3 years ago that was wrong. So I guess they're scared to hit the button. Uh, so say dove in to avoid bursting into flames. That Johnny possibly, her and her dogs were able to get into the ocean state. Oh, Ghetto, I'm sorry to hear that. It does. It does sound like a firestorm. Um, I don't know. There's a lot of weird stuff going on, folks. All we can do as a community, you continue to be prepared. You continue to watch the news. Remember, one of the things we have that a lot of people don't is that we're paying attention, or we're trying to, right? We miss stuff, all of us, even all these creators in the chat and all our mods and all our friends, all of you viewers, we're all watching and we miss things, right? But we're actually looking like, that's weird. And that happened the same time that did. That's weird. Why are these things happening in that order? Um, they didn't want to overreact. That cost people their lives. Um, so, yeah, if it wasn't something deliberate, it was absolute mismanagement of fire risk, in which case the city and state individuals in charge of that should be held accountable. At the very least, it was gross incompetence by people who were being paid by tax dollars, at the least. Um, I don't know, Trish. I really don't know how people can't put the dots together. It's so funny. I've actually had a guy who's a hunter, he's never really been into preparedness, and he said, I need to talk to you about how you know things and how I can know things too. You know what I mean? Like, he was trying to say it was at work, so he didn't want to come off crazy. And I'm like, yeah, we'll need to grab a beer some point and talk about it. Um, People notice, people see it, and all we can do, we can't reach all the sheep. The sheep will not listen. And I got to tell you, having seen that posting from that other creator on the other platform, it actually got me thinking. There are just some people, there are people in my family that they go to extremes. Like, my brother is an absolute preparedness guy in his own way, but he's doing what we're doing, right? And everyone's circumstances are different. Um, and that whatever's coming in the next while, you know what to do. Yeah. And again, if we have the information, we see things happening, we can say, wow, that's going to be inflationary. That's going to cause price of oil to go up. That's going to make rice hard to get, whatever information we get. And then we can calmly say, okay, well, when I go to the grocery store tomorrow, I'm going to get more of this, or I'm going to stock up on that. Um, well, Northern Girl, I decided I have a Green Goblin mask, so I can pretend to be the Peruvian alien, and I'm go walk, because they didn't say what kind of mask. I have an inflatable T-Rex outfit that absolutely flips my corgis out. They don't like me wearing that. It pisses them off, and they chase me. Committees of correspondence, yeah, pretty much. But yeah, get what you need. If you can grow it, great, but not everyone can grow it. Either you don't know how, or you're physically not able. You may not have appropriate place to do it. You can still stock up on what you buy.
what you want to do is minimize your risk if something happens, right? When everything pops off, if something pops off like Rona again, you don't have to go to the stores. You can kind of sit back, wait for the chaos to end, and then say, okay, what gaps do I have that I didn't catch before? And there are always going to be little gaps, so don't freak out. And tell the new preppers in your circle, hey, don't freak out if you miss something. I grew up in the shadow of the recent ended Cold War. It's gone full circle. Joe, truth, a plague doctor mask would be awesome. That would be cool. But I do think for I should dress like the T-Rex, like put the T-Rex suit on, inflate myself, and go into HEB and go grocery shopping as a T-Rex. Technically, my face is covered. Actually, that's actually a good idea. That probably would actually be half-ass effective at stopping things from getting to me because I have the fan blowing air in, but it's down by my butt. But the Rona won't float that far, right? You have to be like it's a close proximity spreader, so I could basically just walk around, maybe throw carrots at people. You know, T-Rex running through HEB throwing candy at folks. Dude, I should seriously Rona the T-Rex and just freaking go and walk around this freaking T-Rex and start like talking to people and throwing groceries in a basket and see what happens. What did Johnny say? Float it for, I don't know, man. I'll tell you what. It came with little mitts and you can't grab shit. So the last time I dressed in that thing was for Halloween, and I put work gloves on, and I was able to grab stuff. I actually dressed as T-Rex for Halloween for a little bit. It got too damn hot, and I would come running out of the garage and throw candy at the kids. I wouldn't give them the candy. I would toss the candy at them, and the kids would freak out and run around and get the candy. So the parents thought it was awesome, and then I had a launcher for Jello shots because we made Jello shots for the adults. That's something we've done every year for like the last 10 years. And I was putting them in the little 2-ounce cups with a lid. And I had this big launcher and I was just dropping those things. And those freaking things were taking off like 30 feet. Um, and it's funny because people were like, hey, you're the Jello shot house. And that's now what we are known as for Halloween. And then another house decided, that's a great idea. We want to do it too. They were on the Facebook group, and I'm like, hell yeah, go for it. So they were doing tequila shots in the little cups with the lid. You know, the little lid where you get ketchup on some of the restaurants, but they were putting tequila in. You know, they had some janky, like really cheap ass tequila because they gave out a lot of tequila. Um, ask Chick if she is gonna. Joe, just don't dress as a T-Rex, Joe. Nobody wants to know about that. But in any case, folks, look, a lot of people just don't want to hear it. And it's depressing. And again, it goes to my title. My title for this video wasn't just, I clearly overestimated my ability to write reports for grad school, but it also goes to, I clearly overestimated the intelligence of the common person because some of them just don't care. So not making any promises, all you can do, find the people who you think would be willing to listen or at least understand what's going on and why you do what you do. Even if they're not comfortable doing it for whatever reason, they can learn to be comfortable later. But the ones who are like, no, nothing's going to happen, nah, I, I wouldn't even mess with them because those are going to be the first people that show up at your house saying that it's not fair that you have preps and they don't. And Northern Girl, I have a serious question. Shoot. I do have a balaclava. Just some Jello shots this way right now. Yeah, no kidding. I don't know if they'd survive that big trip from Texas to Canada. It's almost like completely across the continent. I remember that, Jen. Were you thinking it was due to? I've been going through her stuff. Hold on, I'm trying to focus my eyes. Joe, you need to go to a bar and buy a couple of Jello shots if they have them. Okay. I'm following Northern Girl here for a second, guys. Hang on. And by the way, clearing out a loved one's stuff is tough, as many of you know. So, oh, it's just fun, Joe. It's a great way to. Hold on, I lost track of the chat. I looked down and I don't see it. So, oh, and for those of you who are wondering, now my stepfather who abandoned me after the 6 boosters. Oof. By the way, that is not a wolf corgi. That's actually a Valhund. It's a cousin of the corgi. Uh, the one the Vikings brought is probably the ancestor of these guys. It's a stubby wolf. I don't feel right taking my mother's belongings in order. Ooh, my mother's belongings. Where their belongings are located at his place? Yeah, I actually, Joe wasn't, we inherited the home. If you have any siblings or family, and again, this is just my opinion because that's a tough one. If he has a girlfriend, so he's moved on, so my stepfather has rights to it. I would just ask him, hey, I'd like to, especially if you have some cousins, reach out or siblings. Home will eventually be split between the 4 kids. Yeah, I would have a third party, maybe a relative or a trusted friend go, and you or somebody may reach out and say, "Hey, there's certain things mom had that we'd like to give, spread amongst the kids and the grandkids if there are any. I don't know if there are any grandkids involved. And can we go?" And I got bumped off when I clicked on Hunt's link and couldn't get back in. I've been through enough death and overtook me. Yeah, Joe, I hear you. We had a similar problem with Phil's folk stuff. Hide the expensive stuff, play dumb until someone asks for specific things by name. Yeah, if you physically have possession of the items and you're not fully comfortable, look at it this way, Jen. That's family because your mom is departed. That's family stuff now. Like if I leave this earth tomorrow, I'd want my kids to sit down and go through my stuff, or my wife to go through the stuff and distribute accordingly. But this is a stepdad thing, so I don't know how that plays into it. Stepdad has also abandoned the cat, honestly. Yeah, I would see if you can arrange for family to go through the stuff. So the stuff is in the house. Who's living in the house, you or him? I guess I'm not sure. Wait, what did Lee say? Folk stuff. Hide the expensive stuff. Play dumb. I think my mom wants me to get her person. Well, then I would go, since you're in a separate house, I would just approach and say, hey, there's certain things mom has that I think should be distributed among the children, her children, and just, see if you can arrange to get to the other house and go through that. And I would do what Joe suggested, have other people there. Because if it's just one-on-one, people can get weird. But if there's a group and we're like, hey, and then it looks a little more, it's perceived by the stepdad as a little more of a formal thing, like, okay, we're distributing that which was left behind. So this, because it was weird in the end. You can only ask, or if not, if you think it may be a problem with you, what about one of the other siblings or a cousin, somebody not directly involved in any weirdness, who can reach out and say, hey, you know what? Um, the stuff is still there. Most are turning to zombies. Yeah. And actually, I touched on that in my video Canadian last night. My headlines is have a will. So when my father-in-law passed away, um, there was no paperwork, there was no will, which was not a big deal, right? Because my brother said that my wife said her brother. Sorry, I said that backwards. My wife said her brother could have whatever dad has because he's still starting off. He's younger than she is, and he's taking care of mother-in-law. So we're like, you guys take what you need. If there's something you can't handle or you don't want, then let us know and we'll take it. So like grandpa's shotgun, one of my sons now has, right? Stuff like that. But we left it there, but he didn't leave any paperwork. So even when the family, within hours of his passing away, we were like, okay, this is what we're going to do. And everyone agreed. I had to go to probate. And it took 2 months for the money and the bank accounts and all the assets to transfer over. And we had a will. It was still complicated. I have to chase family. See, Joe, though, if you do the will right, you can eat your own, just have it witnessed. So actually, my company has like affiliates. And so they referred me to someone who just does generic, kind of like a LegalZoom, but it was a dude. And he does generic wills at pretty low cost. It only cost me a few $100, and we did wills for both of us. So like, the end of life stuff and the distribution of stuff and who makes certain decisions. And there's certain decisions that I've made in paper that I can say, hey, if this is the situation and you're not sure what to do, you can refer to this. Hey, Prepper Book Club. Jen, I wish I may need to call you in a couple of days so we can talk, because that's a really complicated thing to talk about on a video with a chat coming back the other way. No problem, Creative. I'm probably going to need to boogie here in a minute too. Um, Folks, look, do the planning now. And Jen brings up a really good point. If you haven't put out a will, or at least a letter of intent saying, hey, and you could get it notarized and say, look, if these following things happen, this is my desires, and have a notary do it. It's still a legal document. It's not a will, but it's a legal document that can guide the court. The judge will see it when you go to probate and say, okay, this clearly is the wishes. The person is stamped and whatnot. It was notarized. Clearly, this was written out by a person who knew what they were doing. It makes the family's life a little easier. And those are kind of sad things to talk about, but it's important because I don't want to be a burden to my kids after I'm gone, much less while I'm here. Medical planning, living will, if you have one, Prepper Book Club, spot on. But distribution of items. Uh, but yeah, even that, yeah, because see, like Northern Girl now, you have to deal with this, but there's no guidelines. There was nothing. It doesn't seem like there was anything specific left behind saying, hey, this goes to you, this goes to you, this goes to you, this goes to my husband, and done. And at least you could refer to that in the content. And there's always going to be some debate, but you can refer to that. My parents are in their 80s, no will. See, yeah. And sometimes it's not hard if the family's on, it's, oh, their shit, all right. Yeah, definitely, Jen, definitely. Final expenses. Yeah, expenses are another one. But at least do what we can, right? It's almost prepping for the other side, right? We won't remember everything. We're always going to forget something, and that's okay. Don't freak out about it. Hey, coffee. But we do the best we can so that at least we've left tools for whoever's left behind. Same way as prepping, you you get the best you can, what you can afford, what you have time for, what you have the knowledge for. So you have tools that you can use in the event something happens, right? Um, but like I said, not everyone wants to hear it. Uh, Not everyone, my dad, I told him, you need to put a will together. He never did. But I didn't want anything from that side of the family. I was like, when dad's gone, like mom can have it and whoever else. I was one of my sisters and I. We were like, no, we were done. But spin it so it gets done. Yeah, definitely. But look, folks. Although it looks the energy market, yeah. Also, that's a good one. Best organized. I actually have a book in my gun safe, and it has personal documents, insurance papers, passports, birth certificates, everything in a row. Um, in the little sheet protectors inside what's basically a huge ass trapper keeper. And I think I swear I did a video on this. Maybe I need to do a new one. But basically, it's set up that in an emergency, we got all the dog stuff on a pegboard, right? We grab the dogs, put harnesses, leashes. We can pack our suitcases because we're always traveling. So packing up is easy for us. Grab what we think we need, grab that book with all the numbers. It has extra cash, silver, the whole 9 yards. There's a couple of big binders. We can get in the car and be gone really quick. An hour and 30 minutes until malt liquor. Yeah, it's basically, Prepper Book Club is basically a trapper keeper on crack. I mean, it's a massive thing. But, so hold on, I lost track of the chat, jumped on me. Yeah, I do. And we never found his will. See, and that's another thing you may want to, at some point, I may have to give a copy of the will in a sealed envelope to one of my kids. I'm thinking of the skill sets of the kids, and this is terrible, but I think like this. So I got the military investigator and then the doctor and the veterinarian. So, like, between those two couples, they have enough both medical and legal knowledge to collaborate and say, okay, this is what we need to do, and they'll know what's going on. So, but anyway, folks, prep the best you can. Try to reach the people who want to. Daryl, thank you, man. Be safe. Reach the people you think you can reach, and the ones who won't listen, don't stress about them. Don't get upset with them. Uh, they don't want to hear it, and they'll have to come to it on their own, or they're going to be consequences. If anything, people like that, I try to not talk to them anymore about preparedness, even if they're still a friend or in my circle, because those are also the ones who are going to be like knocking on your door going, well, it's not fair. You did all this. Well, no, I spent the money and the time to do this, and I told you to, and you didn't. But in the middle of a disaster, that's not when you want to have that kind of conversation, because they're going to be freaked out and you don't know how they're going to act. So it's best to just back away. And the ones who do want to learn or willing to listen and willing to try to work within their means, those are the ones you invest your time in. And those are the ones we can help out. But look, folks, you guys be safe. We're at an hour, man. I was going to do this for like 15 minutes. On the same page, Jim. I did it for 20 years. Yeah, they aren't, Joe. Absolutely. But you guys be safe out there. Be careful. The contact, and also a phone list of other people in an event of an emergency. Be safe, and just remember, you can't reach everyone. Reach the ones who matter and who want to listen. And that's all we can do. And look, don't stress out tonight. If you partake of drinks, have one, whether it's coffee or whether it's tequila. Go have one. Enjoy the night. We got this. We're smart and we're working. We're paying attention. And that's why we collaborate, because I'll miss something, but one of you may see it, and then we can spread the word. Until next time, you guys, God bless, Godspeed, and I will see you guys later this week. Take care.